Excel has two visual capabilities, one called styles and one called themes, and they work together, and they're a little bit elusive at first. In this particular worksheet, color has been applied to these cells right here. Now, this could have been done in a couple of ways. One way, by way of the fill color bucket, click the drop arrow, and you can see that represents this color right here. It's got a box around it. As we slide over others, we see some other choices here. Recognize that these colors certainly don't represent all possible colors. You can choose from the standard color set, or if you don't care for any of these, choose more colors, click the standard tab, and you've got 127 choices. Maybe you like that one. You can certainly go down that path. But a more methodical approach is, with your data highlighted, use cell styles found within the Styles group on the Home tab. Now, when you look at this, you might be saying, well, that's interesting. We slide over these. Notice how the data changes. In some cases, if the background color is darker, the text becomes white, as we see down here. And so the styles here are offering us more choices, and it adjusts the font as well as the cell background. In some cases, in case of headings, it's even putting in borders here. And recognize that although you don't necessarily need to make this data sound bad or good or neutral, those are unusual terms we see here. This represents that so-called traffic light pattern that we see sometimes in Excel. Think of green lights as good, red lights as bad, so that's in effect too. But recognize that we're seeing a limited set of color choices as well as a limited set of font choices as well. So the term themes also comes into play here. Now, themes is a different selection. It's more encompassing, and it's not found on the actual Home tab here. It's found on the Page Layout tab, Themes. Now, when you choose Themes, probably, unless you've made a change already, you're using the Office theme. There are others here, and in older versions, as you would slide over these, you'd see a change in the background. Now we have to actually click this. So if you click Facet, it changed the font, but not the color background. How about Integral? See what's happening there. As we look at some of these other choices, because we had chosen a color outside the regular palette range, it's not making any change at all. But we've got a different theme in effect right now. We're using the theme called Berlin. So let's highlight the data here and go to Styles now from the Home tab, Cell Styles. A different set of colors than we saw before. We never saw these colors here before at all. Maybe we'll choose one of these. Now maybe go back to Page Layout, choose Themes, and pick another one, for example, Retrospect, and watch the color change. Now, how much time do you have for this? I'm sort of joking about the idea that this may not be a tool for everybody, but if it is important to use certain colors, and also if you're working in a project and maybe using some Word files and PowerPoint files, these same themes are available there. So you might choose, for example, here's Circuit, another set of colors. Let's go back to the Home tab again, choose some cell styles, and see a different grouping here as well. You might have to experiment with this quite a while to come up with the conclusion. There's another approach to all this too. You might go to the Page Layout tab and choose colors instead of themes. Now, maybe what you really are looking for are some yellow, orange colors, or possibly some orange and red colors. You can see the choices here on the left. And as we slide over some of these, we see what that last option would be if we choose a different one. Here's one called Median, whatever that might mean. Once again, back to the Home tab and choose Cell Styles to get a different set of selections. This to me is rather drab, but you have different feelings perhaps about how these are appearing. Now, on a different worksheet here called Themes, we have not only colors represented in text and in numerical data here, but also in a chart to the right and an object below here. Let's consider changing a theme by going to Page Layout, Themes. We'll zip back to Office Theme. Keep your eye on the chart to the right, the object below, and the data in columns D through H. They're all changing. Pick Themes, choose Facet. Pick Themes, choose Integral, and so on. The difficulty sometimes is remembering which one you've chosen. Now, if you stop here and save your data and open it tomorrow, which theme have you chosen? Go back to Themes, and that box will be highlighted, Ion, with a boundary around it. Here's Slice. So, the question is, how much time do you want to spend on this? How might this look? And are you using PowerPoint? Are you using Word? Because you will see similar themes there. So getting familiar with themes, I think for some people is important, others not. There's no question it's a visual feature. It's a formatting tool. Here's another one called Damask. We can go on and on and on with these. And again, recognize that when you change the theme, your choices as we look at them here will be different than we saw before when we go to the Home tab and explore some of those cell styles. They're all within the same color palette. An interesting feature and ideal for those who need distinct looks to their worksheets.